everybody. Welcome to the party where the nuts hang. It's just a rap thing.
And we're back with episode 50 of The Sounds of Struggle.
Call the cops!
Because we're about to steal stuff.
Steal this podcast game.
Or murder your ear holes.
Ah! Murdered.
Yeah. So, I'm Chris Perish.
I'm the screaming guy. Ah! I'm not only the screaming guy anymore.
Haha.
Yeah.
We're both screamers.
Yes, we are.
So,
All sports or the stuff that happened on the weekend?
well, I mean, we're a wrestling show, so let's just talk wrestling for a little bit. I mean,
There were shows on the weekend.
yeah,
Stuff happened.
NXT Takeover Houston was on Saturday night,
Yes.
and it was pretty damn good.
It was a little bit of all right.
So, we might as well start with match 1 of the night. Lars Sullivan versus Cassius. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And pretty much, you know what? This wasn't as bad as I thought, but I still think Lars Sullivan needs a lot of work.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Daddy Crude looked a little sloppy, if you ask me.
Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah, I when I was watching this, I thought, man, Lars Sullivan looks just like the dad in the Crudes movie.
Crudes.
Crudes. So,
He reminds me of Heidenreich, so that means in a couple of years, we'll probably never have heard of him.
I did make the statement, in 3 years, he's either a giant star or he's no longer wrestling. So, I think we'll see in 3 years if I'm right or not.
Yeah, I guess so.
If he's still kind of like going at it and he's not a star, then, I was proved wrong.
Way to achieve mediocrity, bud.
Yeah, way to totally send out your career.
Indeed.
Yeah, and then we were, Lars Sullivan won. I don't think anybody was surprised about that one.
Nah.
I mean, if Cassius Ohno was going to get pushed, he would have been pushed by now, so you can think he's probably a glorified, I'm going to get this guy over, and then I'm going to go get that guy over kind of a guy.
Jobbing to everybody.
Way to be the 2017 Barry Horowitz, who can work, though.
Yeah.
So, speaking of work,
I hear the Ellerings like the Horowitz.
I'd slap my back right now, but nobody can see that.
Haha.
But, yeah, we go from two guys who worked out very well, and that was the Velveteen Dream against Aleister Black.
Match of the night.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that, not because I didn't like the War Games, but just because this pure wrestling and entertainment, this just had me hooked.
Yep.
Start to finish was phenomenal.
Oh, and they got a lot of time, which
Which is awesome.
I mean, I think that was kind of the one that's kind of shocked me. I wasn't exactly sure how long this match was going to get.
Yeah.
And I'm quite happy that they got the time they did because they did put in the work and they did deliver. Aleister Black does get the win.
But even so.
And then, afterwards, finally says Velveteen Dream's name.
Which is Velveteen Dream.
Yeah.
Julio Estevez.
Or Patrick Clark.
That too. I will say that the one thing I noticed and the one thing I'm going to go out and record saying is the same thing I said about the Street Profits. Give it a couple years, they will be champs. Just same thing as Velveteen Dream. Give it a couple years, he will be a champ. Whether it's in NXT or on the main roster, he will have some sort of title.
Yep. Also, the MVP of the night goes to the seamstress who made his gear
Fantastic.
having the old school style of ravishing Rick Rude with Aleister Black and the Velveteen Dream's face right on the gear. Terrific. With the little NXT right on the bum.
Right on his bottom.
Yep. So, hopefully,
Right on his dream.
or his Velveteen.
Is his dream the front part?
I don't even want to.
Fair enough.
I don't even want to go
Fair
further than
enough.
that.
His Death Valley drive or whatever it's called.
Oh, he does a handspring with it.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. And Aleister Black, first guy to kick out of it.
Still so good.
Also, first time I've seen it, but
No, it's the first time that anyone's seen.
I digress.
Also, Sister Abigail to a DDT? Something you said you've seen before. I've never seen before. Looked disgusting. Disgusting.
$20 that I know someone in the cat's meow who's going to steal that move.
Yeah, Raunchy Jules, of course.
No. No, this is only because I didn't do it 5 years ago, which is surprising, but he may have actually learned something.
There you go.
Again, I digress.
Digressing.
Speaking of which, Mike, you need to buy a shirt.
You haven't bought a shirt yet?
Yeah.
Buy a shirt, you dick.
We have plus sizes.
Episode 50.
Yeah.
Buy a shirt.
We have plus sizes.
Anybody else?
They'll even fit Naya. They'll fit you.
Anybody else?
And you're not like most girls.
You're not like most guys either.
Yeah.
You're kind of in between, in limbo. You are the Bruce/Caitlyn Jenner of Alberta indie wrestling.
He's a Hugh co-main person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So match 3
Match 3
was the Fatal 4-Way.
women.
Yeah, to crown a new
4 of them. New!
NXT Women's Champion.
That was between Kairi Sane,
Ember Moon,
Peyton Royce,
and Nikki Cross.
and she was cross. She was insane.
Yeah.
She took a powerbomb on the outside. What the hell's wrong with her? It was sweet, but holy hell.
Well, I mean, this is what we play for.
That is what she will be paralyzed for.
Yep.
Yes.
Pretty solid match.
Yeah, it was.
I'm actually a little bit quite surprised that Ember Moon won this match.
Well, I did call it on the podcast originally, but I did actually, after we talked...
We both thought Ember Moon 100% and then changed to Peyton Royce.
Yeah.
For different reasons.
Yes.
Eyeless more said, well, everybody else is a babyface champion. It would make no sense to have everyone babyface champion. They'd put one on a heel. Peyton Royce, being the true only heel out of there, made sense.
Yeah.
However, we'll get to that one later. And,
Stupid idiots.
yeah. So, Ember Moon had a great showing. New women's champion, Asuka, there to present. Might have actually been one of the most awkward presentations.
That was very...
Yeah, I don't think Asuka understands the body language of that well.
She meant well, but it came across a little weird.
Yeah. Plus, I don't think Ember Moon knew what was going on either.
No.
So,
and this is a match that started off, I wouldn't say slow, but started off all right. But by the end, actually got really, really good. And you know what? The whole Kairi Sane, the first probably quarter of the match, she really didn't do much.
no.
And like they used her well, but protected her. Like I liked how this went.
Oh, and she didn't take the pin, which was a good
It was
part moving
left
forward.
to Nikki Cross, I believe.
Yeah, it was it was Ember Moon hitting her. I'm trying to remember what her name, finishing move name is. Do you remember?
Moon's over my hammy?
I
I don't know.
However, she not only hits it on Nikki Cross, but also Peyton Royce.
It was like a double stunner.
Yeah, which was very impressive. And then Peyton Royce rolled to the outside, Nikki Cross taking the pin, which might have actually... we might see Peyton Royce versus Ember Moon. That's kind of how I looked at it.
Yeah.
Maybe they're protecting Peyton Royce, so then she can be the next in line. She's like, well, I didn't lose, you didn't beat me.
Yeah.
So, so this kind of remains to be seen of where they go next, but there's definitely a long list of options they have in that division that now that Asuka's not there, I think that's more of an even division.
Yeah.
I just thought Asuka was clearly head and shoulders above everyone else.
Head, shoulders, chest, full torso, legs, full body, everyone, above everyone. Stepping on their remains, burying them.
Including knees and toes.
Knees and toes, knees and toes.
And this leads us to probably what I would have said was the biggest shock of the night. And that was the heavyweight championship match between Andreas Cien Almas and Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
And this match, actually really good match.
It was, yeah. I wasn't expecting it not to be, but it went in a much different direction than I thought it would.
Yeah. Drew McIntyre ended up actually report saying he tore his bicep in this match.
The only way I can see that is that final, like, DDT driver, I want to call it?
Yeah, it was like a hammerlock DDT, which
off
is
the
basically
top rope that turned into like a pile driver.
Yeah, so and that ended up sealing the fate for Drew McIntyre, and Cien Almas is the new NXT Heavyweight Champion.
I will say though, after the match, there was a lot of him celebrating on the apron, kind of hanging around like something was supposed to happen that didn't.
Well,
I feel like just something else should have happened there. That
again, I also think it's part that Drew was probably hurt and there's people in the ring, so they probably wanted him to celebrate in the ring, or maybe had something planned of him in the ring celebrating, and because of the injury they had to do it outside of the ring. And I don't know if they have enough camera guys outside of the ring.
maybe, I don't know, it seemed awfully long. Seemed like something was going on there. Maybe because he was hurt.
Yeah.
But they left it. I don't know.
But yeah, nonetheless, Cien Almas, new NXT champion.
Did not see that coming.
No, to me that was the surprise of the night.
That made me 4 for 5 overall.
I don't think a lot of people had him beating Drew McIntyre. No. I did read, I don't know how accurate is this, but that Drew McIntyre was prepping to be called up, which I don't think is I don't think people would not expect him to be called up. I mean, he was main event ready by the time he got back.
Yeah.
But seeing how he just won the NXT title, people are probably expecting him to have a lengthy run.
Either that, or at least try to go back after it once.
Yeah.
At least.
The one thing I will say is that injury did not look like it changed the finish. It did seem like that was supposed to be the finish.
Yeah.
So maybe this was supposed to be maybe a feud that was supposed to go on for a while. I don't know.
It's possible.
But again, I mean, we'll see when all of the shows play out, and we'll see as the next NXT episode comes out. But this leads us to the
main event of the evening.
The match we all have been waiting for, and
for almost 20 years.
Yeah, and if you're not old enough, then you don't know what you're gonna expect unless you went on the network and saw War Games from WCW, and saw how violent and awesome it was.
First impression, didn't like it. Because there was no roof. And I'm like, oh, great. Now people are going to escape. It's going to be basically a cage match in two games.
But one of the rules was if you left the cage and escaped, your team forfeits the match.
Which, as soon as they said that, I started to feel better because I'm like, okay, at least they can't escape.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to that later.
And what I thought was kind of cool is there's like a Shark Tank for all teams.
Shark Cage, yeah.
And somebody from every team started the match. So you started the match with three guys, which was Adam Cole, Baby,
Eric
Young,
and Roderick Strong.
Yeah.
Repping his team by
Camo Shield.
Camo Shield-esque, representing the same as AOP.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
It was. And he didn't look that bad.
No, he didn't.
He actually, he looked a lot less awkward than Kurt Angle in the Shield stuff, or Triple H in the Shield stuff.
Very true.
So, I don't know, maybe an entire change is needed for Roddy.
Yeah, Roddy versus Fashion.
Maybe he should join the Fashion Police or become their first
recruit.
Or maybe the first one in the Fashion Popo Penitentiary. I don't know what they want to call it.
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah. But anyway, this match definitely stole the show.
Crazy.
From a Spot Fest point of view.
Yeah.
Whether it's Alexander Wolf's head
cracking open.
Yeah. German suplex on one of the AOP, which I believe was Razar.
Sure. They look the same to me. I don't know.
Off the top rope onto a table, but his head hits the edge of the table.
And just
yeah. And all of a sudden, we got a waterfall of blood coming out of Alexander Wolf's head.
Yes.
But
for a PG era, there's a lot of blood.
Yeah. What I'm going to go back to is the Shark Cage thing. I honestly expected every 5 minutes someone, like an individual, is going to come out. But every 5 minutes, another team came out.
After 5 minutes, the first team came out, which was Undisputed Era.
Yeah.
And 3 minutes after that, it was Authors of Pain. And 3 minutes after that, it was, I guess, the tag team champs. I guess you call them that.
Killian Dane and Alexander Wolf.
You call them.
Well, Eric Young did have one of the tag titles.
Yeah, I don't know if you call them. Anyways, the rest of Sanity.
Hey man, the Freebird in it.
Yeah, why
They're
not?
tag struggling it up.
Yeah, they are.
So
Killian Dane impressed the hell out of me.
I think there's an exact. I think we saw why he was the one who was picked to be in the Andre Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania. He was absolutely outstanding. Does a coast to coast.
Not quite to the coast, but he could see it.
For a guy his size, it was better than Shane's.
Yes. All the while, Adam Cole on the top of the cage, holding on for dear life, watching on.
And
hilarious.
And crawling from one, like basically the middle part of it to one side.
Yeah. There's the double Tower of Doom. That was impressive.
Only to be suplexed off it by Roderick Strong.
Yes.
Onto everyone.
Everyone. Spot Fest galore. Go watch it. Another fantastic pay-per-view.
One thing I will say, when Saturday came out, once you're in, you're in. And we already said that the rule was if you left, you forfeited. So before Killian Dane can go in the ring, he went and grabbed some weapons and brought him into the ring, which was awesome.
Yes, it was.
Because the cage obviously does not allow you to get to the floor, to the apron. So it was like a steel cage surrounding two rings.
Yeah.
And it was nice.
A little bit of alright.
It brought a little bit more chaotic.
And you know what? Adam Cole versus Roderick Strong going forward. I can see that being a thing. I can also see why so many people love Eric Young. His selling was stellar in this match.
And had he not get signed by TNA, by the way, here's the thing. A certain MPW provincial champion over here would have actually have been trained by him.
That's so.
Yep. He was actually the first guy that I looked up to look for wrestling training. So I almost moved to Toronto to train.
Oh, you almost screwed yourself hard.
What I?
The place is a dump.
Yes, but look at where Eric Young is now.
Yeah, he got the hell out of Toronto.
I know. But he could have taken me with him.
Yeah, maybe.
Just saying. Team Canada over here.
Maybe.
Possibility. Sanity, maybe?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah.
I could have been in the show, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll never know if I could have been in the show.
Oh, you could be in the show. Just gotta get the dough to get you to the show.
Faux show.
Bro.
Brother. Yeah, so that was TakeOver.
Really good.
Yeah, really good. Best show of the weekend by far.
As per.
Yeah.
I mean, NXT, whenever it's NXT than WWE, I always find the WWE show's not ever as good. And I'm always a little bit let down for whatever reason.
That's because they're like 5 hours too long.
Yeah, every time. This show. So, now we're moving on to Survivor Series.
Survivor Series.
2 hour pre-show.
With only 2 matches.
3.
There's 3?
There was 3.
Jesus.
Matt Hardy versus Elias. Elias going over.
Yeah, I know that one. What was the third?
Next one was Cruiserweight title match.
No. Enzo defeating Kalisto.
Retaining on Kalisto.
Never watched it, I just assumed.
Third match. Oh, I wouldn't say impromptu, but seemed like it was. Owens and Zayn versus Breezango.
Yes. I did see the video after where they
Owens and Zayn defeated Breezango.
Right. So,
That was the pre-show.
all right.
2 hours.
So basically, pre-show accomplishes nothing, but needs 120 minutes for that.
Pretty much.
And then we go into Survivor Series.
Which first match is the Hounds of Justice versus New Day.
And Shield. You know what?
That was a good match.
It was a little better than I thought. I would have enjoyed a little bit more of a build-up, though.
As opposed to 1 week.
Yeah, and I blame the mums for that.
I would have enjoyed it a little more if they hadn't replayed the, everything that happened since the invasion of Raw 4 times.
Right. We know you're a 4-hour show now on the network when you're doing your pay-per-views, but, I mean, more action, less recap, We fucking already know what happened.
You have to assume that your fans...
It's why we're watching the pay-per-view.
You have to assume your fans know what's going on. That was a little much.
Right?
Yeah. There were 4 flashbacks. 4! On a 5-hour show, there were 4 flashbacks. There was no need for that. None! Voice is cracking, because I don't like it.
Yeah. He went back in time when he was a little kid and spoke very high and still saw the same fucking recap.
Indeed.
Because they went on too long and too often.
On to the next.
Well, the Shield won. Let's tell
so
that.
Shield
The
won.
Shield won. I mean, is anybody going to...
Shield powerbomb from the second rope?
Well,
Top rope?
it was the Shield powerbomb off the top on a Kofi with basically Ambrose and Seth Rollins doing a mid-rope T gimmick as well. So it was
good.
nice.
It was good. It was good. Next match. So that's 1-0 Raw.
Yeah.
Then next match.
One's up.
Next match, Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. Women's match.
Basically, everyone kind of get your shit in until Asuka wins it for the team.
Yep.
I think
Asuka sole survivor.
Yeah. In all honesty, this match, the one thing I'm going to say what these matches need to do is they need to insert everyone into the match quicker.
Yeah.
I
This
mean,
match was not bad, but
I
it's too
barely
long.
saw Sasha Banks in this match.
Yep.
I barely saw Becky Lynch in this match.
Because she was literally eliminated right away.
Yeah. But I saw more Carmella than I saw Sasha Banks. I saw more
Which sidebar? She didn't cash in like we thought.
No.
A little disappointed.
No, she got kicked the fuck in the face.
That was okay. I like that.
She was knocked
But I
the
figured-
fuck out.
But I figured maybe later. But I mean,
She didn't have the
I guess-
chinless wonder anymore.
that's I'm
To wake her up.
so happy about that. We'll get to that later. But yes, I'm so happy about that. Anyways,
Well, he was released. Good riddance.
Ellsworth is finally released. You know what? Good for him for getting in there and making it so he gets hired.
You know what,
But he didn't
James?
do shit since he
Maybe
got
in
there,
a couple of years he can make that chin back.
Yeah.
Wait, come back. I mean, come chin. I mean,
Coming to chin? Who's coming? Ew.
yeah.
Anyways, Team Raw wins as Asuka sole survivor. It was alright.
As expected.
As expected.
Yeah.
Next match. So it's 2-0 right now for Raw.
2-zip.
Next match. Intercontinental Champion, The Miz, versus United States Champion, The Corbin.
The Burger Baron Corbin.
I like Burger Man.
I know. That's what I said.
That match was...
I've actually never ate there.
That's really good. Shred. The match was alright. I mean, I actually thought The Miz was going to win this one, and he didn't. That was
Well, it was kind of weird. It was how much they made The Miz look like a babyface, but he never really went babyface.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like, he still
Baron
used...
Corbin just like kind of berating Maurice, who's sitting at ringside, and saying, "Oh, you should see a real man," pointing to himself. I mean, you don't attack another dude's wife
unless you're Jericho.
because you never, ever tease about being a better man without taking the wife. I mean, do the husband a waiver and just take the wife. Because then Buddy can just go out with his best friend and drink more.
Or just pull a Jericho and just punch the wife in the face.
Hey, I blame her, man.
Fair enough.
She didn't get out of the way.
Fair enough. Anyways, yeah, Baron Corbin
For a
won.
Nitro girl, she couldn't dance away from that one.
Ha ha!
Burn.
She found Jesus. When she was knocked the fuck out.
Did she find Jesus, or
She
did
was
her
knocked the
husband
fuck
find Jesus?
out. Anyways, match was okay. I mean, it was good, I guess. I don't know.
It was more exciting. Both titles are on the line.
Yeah, but
even then.
Anyways, 2-1 now for Raw. SmackDown gets a point. Whatever.
2-1.
Next match, tag teams, Raw and SmackDown. The Bar versus the Uce.
I would actually say this was the match of the night for Survivor Series.
Yeah, I'd agree. This was a little bit of all right.
Yeah. Wicked finish.
Wicked. The finish was wicked retarded.
So it was basically, I don't know, like what? It was one Uso jumping out of the ring to tag his brother, while he jumped onto Sheamus, only for the splash to go into Cesaro.
Don't you have that backwards? I think Cesaro's on the outside.
I don't know.
But anyways, yes. He basically goes and does a top rope. What the hell does Mauro Ranallo call it?
Plancha?
Tope Conjito?
Just jumped in and gave him a crossbody.
Anyway, yeah, basically jumped on top rope, gave him a plancha crossbody, at the same time tagging his brother, who gave a splash for the win.
Yeah.
It was really... And the match was back and forth, inventive tag moves the whole time. The only thing I didn't like was Sheamus's attempt to go back to the boy band era with frosted tips. The fuck was that?
Like I said, maybe he found some hair gel.
He clearly found some hair gel.
Oh, Mary gave him some hair gel.
There's something about Mary, it tells you.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So now we're at 2-2.
2-2.
2-2. Tie.
Next one. Charlotte versus Bliss. Raw versus SmackDown. Women's singles. The match I was looking forward to, well, not the only one, but one of the ones I was really looking forward to, thought it'd be awesome. It was alright, but I don't know.
I still think, man, both women need to be flipped.
Like
Alexa
SmackDown,
Bliss, well, no, because that was last year.
Yeah.
Alexa Bliss was SmackDown champion last year, and Charlotte was Raw champion. They really changed things up over the one course of the year.
Yes, they did.
Well, just put them on different shows. But no, Alexa Bliss needs to be the babyface. Charlotte needs to be the heel. Clearly, Charlotte is the one who can control the match. Alexa Bliss is not at that level yet.
She can do it with a lot of the women, but not with Charlotte. Charlotte's just kind of on that different. She's on the Neville level.
Well, I mean, to me, I think Alexa Bliss's best match to date was against Mickie James.
Yeah.
And Mickie James is probably the one calling that match.
Yeah.
I mean, she's the vet. You listen to the vet.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. But I just don't know if she's polished enough to be in that position when she's working more technically sound girls. Actually, because Charlotte isn't that much more experienced. I mean, but her instincts are 10 times better because she's
A flea.
born into this business.
She's a flea.
I mean,
But yeah, the match. It was all right, but I guess I just expected more.
yeah, I think maybe in a couple years this match will be better. The quality of the match will be better. And it's not saying this match was terrible by any means, but it was just, we were expecting it to...
There's just a couple missteps where they tried to do one thing and it didn't go off quite as they hoped.
Just saying, it wasn't as fluid or as smooth as we were hoping for.
Exactly.
So,
There was fluid, but not the right kind.
not the ones we were hoping for.
Exactly.
So, Charlotte picks up the woo W.
Yep. The double woo!
Yep. And got the win for SmackDown.
3-2 SmackDown.
3-2.
Next match. It's the champions. Styles. Clash. Versus Lesnar. Kill.
Conquer Clash.
Conquer Clash. Sounds like a game for your phone.
Right?
The match itself, I was very impressed.
Clash of the Conquerors.
Clash of the Titans?
Yeah, that's already a game.
Yeah.
I'm trying
It's
to
a
make
movie.
Trying to make a new thing here.
But yeah, overall, Lesnar sold for Styles way more than I thought he
Actually,
would.
this match was probably... It started off very weird and awkward,
Yeah, I think they were trying to fill each other out or something.
but
I don't know.
it picked up in a hurry.
And it picked up and business was good.
And I honestly think this match challenged Usos and the Bar
Yeah.
for match of the night.
This was
I
good.
would love to see these two guys go again.
I love the fact that when Lesnar suplexed and threw him, he legitimately threw him. Styles legitimately took it. Well, I don't think he had much choice.
Well, I mean, at the same time, AJ Styles is too good of a worker to know. Like, he knows how to sell.
Yeah.
And, like, that's just the thing. When you put a guy who's athletic enough, who knows how to sell for Lesnar, all of a sudden Lesnar looks like just a bigger beast than what he already is.
Yep.
Then it's just so much better out of it. That's why I honestly think guys like Roman Reigns doesn't have the best match with Brock Lesnar the way Seth Rollins can have the match with Lesnar.
Fair enough.
Because I think the small man ability to sell is just better than, a big man who's like, oh yeah, I'm going to go through you. I mean, it's cool, but it's not emotionally, invigorating, kind of. Like, you got that sympathy for AJ Styles. You wanted to see him overcome it, and you just played that story up so much better.
Yeah.
And I don't think you get that same story with Roman Reigns as you do, AJ Styles.
Yeah,
that's
true.
why I would very much love to see a Finn Balor-Brock Lesnar match for that reason.
Yeah, that I actually did think for about 2 seconds there that AJ might pull it off. Yeah. They made me believe. They made a believer out of me.
And then AJ goes for a phenomenal forearm, and he gets caught into an F5 for the 1, 2, 3.
It's 3-3.
3-3?
Tied up. Last match of the night. By far the most convoluted and confusing motherfucking match that basically ruined the pay-per-view. Kind of like last year.
Confusing.
Confusing. Cunt. Oh, that's what we were saying. Right? Yeah? Okay. Anyways. Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. The men's edition.
Yeah.
It came down. I'm not going to spare the details.
Well, we got a lot of teases in this match. Let's not completely throw that out of the window because we got to see...
Nothing happened. Nothing happened.
We got to see Triple H face off against Bobby Roode, which was kind of cool.
Triple H faced off against Shinsuke Nakamura.
And we got to see Shinsuke go against Braun Strowman. Finn Balor.
That was good.
We saw John Cena versus Joe for a little bit.
Yep.
We saw...
the entire SmackDown side pick up, or the suplex, Braun through a table.
We got to see Finn Balor dropkick the fuck out of Shane McMahon on the outside.
That was funny as hell. A little bit of interference like we called by KO and Sami Zayn.
Yep. They attacked Shane McMahon at one point.
Yep.
Which made no sense to me, actually chased him off with a chair.
Yeah, whatever.
But it is what it is.
It's not the only thing that didn't make sense in this match.
No, so...
So the way it worked for what I remember...
But one thing I'm going to say, Kurt Angle looked slow.
Which is weird because maybe it was against who he was fighting against last time, but last time I saw him in the ring, before WWE, he looked fine. But maybe it's because it was against guys like Cody or Zack Sabre Jr., Will Ospreay.
Now, the one thing
that's why.
The one thing I did notice is Kurt Angle does have his left leg, I believe, taped up. And if it's something like maybe not so much Charlie horse, but something that's a little bit...
a little strain or a pull?
Yeah, that might affect his mobility a little bit. So.
Yeah, I guess it's possible, but you're right, because I was expecting more from him, and it was kind of underwhelming on his part.
Yeah. So anyway, the finish ended up actually coming down to Triple H, Kurt Angle, Braun Strowman against Shane McMahon.
Yeah.
And what we saw was Braun Strowman in the ring, and Kurt Angle tags himself in.
No, it's Triple H tags himself in, does a lap around, then Kurt Angle tags himself off Triple H.
Yeah.
Then they start, him and Shane start doing stuff. Why is Shane in there? B, why is he the last one? It's just,
Now, if they were going to do that to anyone in the match... I'm glad they did it to Shane and not, say, Bobby Roode.
Yeah, fair enough.
Not Shinsuke Nakamura.
They kind of buried
Randy
Cena,
Orton.
Cena. That's one thing they did. He didn't really do a lot in this one.
But here's also the thing. Did he have to?
No, not really, I guess.
The one thing I'll give John Cena, he allowed everyone else to do more in that match than him himself. Because he knows a win or a loss doesn't affect him at all.
I'll say this, though. He also looked awkward as hell wearing bright lime green against the rest of the blue on his team.
Oh, he stood out.
Yes, he did.
Hey, gotta get yourself over there, kid. Gotta get yourself over.
Yeah, I guess.
Hey, man. When you get a Bumblebee spinoff, do whatever the fuck you want.
I don't want a Bumblebee spinoff. I don't even like Transformers.
I'll take the paycheck, though.
Well, yeah, you'd be dumb not to.
Exactly.
Anyways, so... Kurt Angle has...
And he gets to be Bumblebee Cena.
Bumblebee Tuna.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, it works. It's a thing now.
So, it comes down to Shane McMahon's in an ankle lock. And looks like he's about to tap. And then, for whatever reason, Triple H just gets in there and gives Kurt Angle a pedigree.
And then puts Shane over top of him
Looks like it's going to be a turn.
Yeah, and then he looks like he's going to turn on Strowman and Raw and join up with Shane, only to kick and pedigree Shane because he wanted to pin Shane himself.
I guess, or it could just come down to he just didn't want Angle to be one of the last ones for whatever reason. Maybe that'll set up for Angle versus Triple H at Mania. Maybe. I don't know.
And then we go into something even more confusing for why we don't know. But so Triple H and Strowman are celebrating.
Well, Triple H is celebrating. Strowman's just staring at him, like wondering what the hell has happened.
Like everyone watching the show.
Yeah.
Maybe this is why everyone loves Strowman. He just reacts the same way you do.
He's the common man.
No.
He's the blue blood, you know?
I'm just a common man.
Common man.
And my name is Braun Strowman.
Strowman.
I'm a monster among men.
Among men. Masturbates with his hands. Too much? Okay, anyways.
And listens to Franz Ferdinand?
I do that too. Ferdinand. But anyway, so comes down to Strowman ends up like basically grabbing Triple H by the throat, pushing him right into the middle turnbuckle of one of the corners, and just screaming at him, "Don't ever do that to me again!
Don't ever double cross me again.
Yeah,
I will break you if you do that again." And then anyway,
so Triple H looks like he's actually about to cry. He was really funny.
great sell job.
Yeah.
Great sell job.
Good sell.
Gets up and is about to
Basically,
he attacks
Pearl
Strowman
Harbor
from behind,
Yeah.
kicks, tries to get him in the pedigree position, and that looked awkward as fuck.
Yeah, because Strowman just like no-sold it at all.
So then Strowman picks him up, gives him a power slam, then picks him up, gives him another one.
Rips his shirt of his Raw shirt off, and
And then the show ends.
yeah. And what you didn't see is after the fact, I don't know if you've seen it.
Triple H running into the
He's like trying to celebrate, turns around, runs into the small part of the Jumbotron and knocks himself over. So funny. So funny.
Probably something he personally tried to do,
Oh, absolutely.
but funny.
Oh, yes.
So yeah, that was Survivor Series.
Yeah, and it wasn't terrible up until that last match. That just, it really, as they say in the wrestling business, they only remember really the finish. And that finish really ruined the entire show.
That match could have actually have saved the show and made the show very good.
And it did the exact opposite.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Should have gone on first.
Yeah.
Not to mention, it had like an hour.
Yeah. The only good side was it ended fairly early, and I had enough time that I added on to the extra for my PVR that I taped the WWE 365 about Kevin Owens, which was really good.
Yeah, it was. Except for the Michael Rappaport.
I didn't mind that, really.
His voice ended up being a little too screechy.
He's from like either Boston or New York. He's got that accent, that twang about it, so it's whatever.
Yeah, no, but Morgan Freeman was available. Always.
Do you know he's available, though?
Yeah,
Maybe WWE didn't want to pay that. Maybe
he's my MF.
Maybe Michael Rappaport just did it for free.
No. If he's from Boston, he definitely didn't do it for free. If he's from New York, there's no way in hell he did it for free.
What you talking about, Willis?
I'm Chris.
Ah, very good.
So yeah. Also, we're taping on a Monday, but we have not seen Raw.
We do know something that happened, though.
We do know something happened. We're not going to say anything. We'll talk about it next week.
Yeah.
When we've actually watched the show.
We'll talk about it next week. All I can tell you is it's
you don't want to turn the dial up, or down, because you might want to stay on the channel.
Yeah. If it was a book, it'd be quite the page turner.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say about that.
Let's just say I like to watch it in my house.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Or any house, really.
Yeah.
Hey, do you want a little just no segue for this, but do you want to hear something really funny?
Sure.
Teddy Hart's back in jail.
What
Yeah. He was he's arrested because on New Year's Day of this year, so like 2017.
January 1?
Yep, January 1. And I guess he was arrested for whatever, a bunch of stuff. And he was out, and I guess back in the beginning, or the end of October, beginning of November, he is back in jail for driving intoxicated, evading cops. He's out on bail, but he basically he broke the bail from that New Year's Day sentence, so he's now back in jail down in the States.
Yeah. As expected.
So he's probably in there giving someone the Lugarak roll, and they'll be like, "What's that?" And he'll be like, "This," and then do it. Then probably get extra time added to his sentence, because fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. No, I will not ever forgive him. Fuck that guy.
So hockey. Have anything about hockey?
Oh, there's two more things. One, Impact. Now it's Canadian. Apparently, when they did all those tapings up in Ottawa area, they actually went through a talent agency and hired a bunch of actors for the fans. Not all of them, but a lot of the people in the stands were hired actors who got paid $50 a day. That's kind of sad when you think about it.
Now, Ottawa can finally have people to afford playoff tickets.
All you gotta do is pay them.
Right?
You can put those 1,500 extra seats back in. You bunch of losers. Also, being that's episode 50.
5-0.
Yes, doo-doo-doo-doo, big angle reveal. We were the weapons. It was us, Austin. It was us all along. For some of it. Others, it wasn't us.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm not 5'3" and fucking 37 pounds soaking wet. Like the new ones. We've passed it on. We've passed the torch, per se.
I'm short.
Yeah, but you're not 5'3", you're 5'7".
Yeah.
Anyways.
I can be soaking wet on a nice night.
I'll make you soaking wet on any night, babe. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's my mass destruction.
Okay, so first off, hockey. Outdoor Classic. Have you seen the jerseys for the Habs and Sens?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Don't give a shit.
Fair enough. End of that. Keeping with that, Hawks Bruins. Flyers Pens. Both at outdoor games next year. Do you care?
Don't give a shit.
Fair enough. Small sidebar.
They have a giant opportunity to expose new stars, and they go to the same markets.
I was about to say, let's do a little mini let's book. Which teams would you book for outdoor games next year? You get 2 outdoor games. Who would you book?
Well, I would book Toronto in one, for sure. Because you have one of the biggest stars in Austin Matthews.
Okay.
Connor McDavid just had one, so I'm okay with the Oilers not having one. However, you put Austin Matthews in one and you put him in the States. I don't care if you have another team who had one, but why not expose your biggest American-born hockey player right now into an American market?
Makes sense.
I mean, you have an American-born player who's a superstar playing on a Canadian team. You want to expose him more into the States, you put him in that kind of a game.
Would you do it maybe, say, against Buffalo then because of Jack Eichel?
Sure. Then you have Matthews against Eichel. And you have an Eastern team, say it's in Buffalo, or even in Toronto. I don't care. I mean, Buffalo is the NFL stadium, so do it in there.
Yeah.
Also, here's another one I would do. Washington Capitals against Pittsburgh Penguins in Russia.
I think you're rushing to a finish there, aren't you?
No, I'm just saying, do it in Moscow.
People might die. I like it. Let's do it.
But then you're exposing the NHL into a...
Basically do what, the 2 teams, Ottawa and Colorado did in Sweden this year.
Yeah, you're
Makes
exposing it to another market by using the biggest star from that country in Alexander Ovechkin, and you're playing against him against his number one rival, is Sidney Crosby.
Not to mention the fact that both teams, I mean, you also got Malkin,
Yeah.
you got Kuznetsov, Backstrom.
Backstrom's Swedish.
Yeah, it's the same thing. But I mean, like, there's a lot of European players over there, like on those 2 teams.
Well, my thing is, like, why just go back to the same couple cities in North America? Why not use this opportunity to actually expand your game in other markets? Like you said, they just did a couple games in Sweden. You have a chance to do something in, say, like, Russia here. And then, maybe, just maybe, you would then see some people from the KHL wanting to go back to the NHL. And then maybe you bring some of the KHL fans back into the NHL.
I would do something similar to your first idea, but my idea was 2 original 6 teams.
And you have Vladimir Putin drop the puck because big deal.
Yeah, why not? Plus, yeah, I mean, he already gave Ovechkin some wedding presents and stuff. So I mean, you got an in there.
Yeah.
But no, my idea was something similar, but you use it to expand the markets. So say you have a original six thing where you want to get Austin Matthews in the States. You do Toronto versus, say, one of the biggest teams in the States, so we'll throw Chicago out there. Them and Seattle. If that's where you want to expand to, do it in Seattle. If you want to do it for Canadian market, Quebec City.
See, like, and the only one thing I do like is that they're playing on the Notre Dame field.
Yep.
For one of the games.
That's Chicago-Boston.
Yeah, but...
Which I'm actually looking at possibly going to.
But, like,
But I
what...
have to pay for a wedding.
I just don't understand why Chicago. Why not keep it an Eastern thing? Why not Detroit, Boston?
I guess that Notre Dame's, the closest team is either... It would be Minnesota or Chicago.
Minnesota, there you go. Minnesota. When was the last time they did anything outdoors?
They live outdoors. I don't know. They're a bunch of wild people.
I know. But I'm just saying, like, this is a great chance for them to expand not only the markets, but also expand the teams that are already in.
Yeah, well, that was my thing. Like, have do one in Quebec City. Have it Montreal versus whoever, even Toronto again. But have like an original six, Montreal, Toronto, in Quebec City. Do it outdoors. Hell, don't do it outdoors. Do it indoors. Do it at the new stadium that they want to get a team in. Do that instead.
We'll even do Montreal, Pittsburgh, and then you can have an alumni game and have Mario Lemieux.
There we go.
Right? Just little things can be done. Not to mention, like, nothing against your team right now, but they're not, like, the Jonathan Tays and the Patrick Kane, they're not the two most prolific guys in the league anymore.
Not right now.
Or, boom, use the Oilers, put a game out in Germany. Have Leon Draisaitl be that in there. I'm like, use the global atmosphere that you have to your advantage and don't restrict yourself, because this is why nobody in the States cares about, like, some of your hockey players, because they don't know.
Yeah.
But if you put them in areas to where people can watch them, they'll know.
Yeah, and speaking of which, of new teams or new cities and whatnot, Houston apparently being possibly considered for a team not to expand, but to be moved. Mm-hmm. Top runners right now, Arizona and Calgary.
Yeah. I also, well, you know what? I badly would love to see Arizona moved out of there. It just doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
Seattle is also another one that's very close of getting a potential team. I would love to see Seattle for two reasons. One, it keeps a team in the West instead of moving a team out West-East. Two, Seattle and Vancouver will be such a good rivalry when both teams become competitive.
So never.
Oh no, it'll eventually happen. I mean, Toronto's competitive.
I guess they could battle it out for the bottom spot.
But I mean,
that's cool.
There's so much. Like, you go to the WHL and Vancouver and Seattle have a good rivalry down there. So now you can get this on a bigger stage.
Yeah.
Another city that could possibly get one is Portland. They do have an NHL size arena. They do have a good following.
For the Winterhawks?
Hell yeah.
True.
So,
I still say Quebec though.
Quebec City is also another one.
Yeah.
It's just like it makes too much sense to when bringing another team back. Oh, put it to Winnipeg. Bring back the Jets. Putting another team in Quebec City. Bring them back to Nordiques. It's just something you need to do.
Yeah. Now, here's a question for you. Based on how things have expanded now and whatnot, do you think a team could be supported out in the Maritimes? Like Halifax.
This is a time where you take an outdoor game, or you put a game in Nova Scotia. See how well it draws. Don't just take Sidney Crosby because he's from there. But also maybe do one where it's like that, but also put another market in there.
If you're going to do that, you do Pittsburgh versus Colorado. Crosby versus McKinnon. They're both from it that way.
But at the same time, take a team that you're thinking about moving and test them out in there. Just like Buffalo did with the Bills, but they did games in Toronto.
Yep.
It didn't work out, but at the same time, you then know if it's a thing or not. You might as well try it before you lose a lot of money.
That is true. But yeah, the reason I asked about that is we'll get to that in a little bit. But the Habs recently honored GSP, had him drop the ceremonial puck. That was pretty cool. They gave him a standing ovation for like almost 2 minutes. That's pretty cool to see. I like that. Also, what do you think? Camilleri for Jokinen. What are your thoughts on that trade?
I still rather have traded Jokinen for a draft pick. If as an Oilers fan, if I wanted to see a former Flaming King join the Oilers, I wanted to be number 12, Jerome McGinley.
Fair enough. How about all the suspensions that's going on right now?
Good.
You got Radko Guda suspended 10 games for that disgusting slash.
I like it. It shows that the disciplinary part of the NHL is actually happening. They're not tolerating it. This is how you keep the integrity of your game, is by getting this shit out. You penalize people who do the wrong.
Yep. And then you got from that Detroit Calgary game, you got that Luke Witkowski, something like that. Whatever his name is, suspended 10 games because he came back on the ice after leaving.
Mm-hmm.
And Kachuk got suspended 1 game for, I guess, provoking / spearing him. Although it wasn't really a spear. Like he just pushed him with this stick, but it really wasn't a spear per se. But, I mean, whatever. He got suspended 1 game for it, so.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah, you're right. It's good that they're actually upholding this kind of thing.
Well, it just, again, like, there's a level of respect and integrity of the game that you need to keep. And if you don't do anything, you're only losing that integrity.
Yep.
That is what I believe is happening to the NFL right now. When you have cases where you don't know if you can suspend a guy because the PA always gets involved and they go, we don't like that, we're going to appeal it. You're just sending out the wrong message.
Yeah.
And the fact that the NHL PA is, okay, we agree, we're on the same thing. That's when you know you got a PA and the league, they're on the same page.
Yeah.
They're working together here.
Yeah.
Whereas I use the NFL, I don't think that's the case. I don't think that there's a lot of the Players Association is on board with how the league is run. And a lot of that is because you have a bad commissioner in Roger Goodell. I mean, I think there's a lot more people in hockey that respect Gary Bettman than a lot of people in football respecting Roger Goodell.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair enough. I agree with that. Now, keeping with the integrity and whatnot, all the ads recently that have been on stuff, everything, like you go to every single review, anything like that, everything is sponsored. And I mean, I know it's better than having actual tons of sponsors on the jerseys and stuff, but really, when is enough? Like, I was watching the middle of the game, I think it was like Toronto versus Detroit, and just like on the bottom there where it has a little shot clock and everything on the top there, it just randomly Lay's chips, and it's like, why?
Well,
what's the need for that?
At the end of the day, do you want ads on jerseys?
No.
Then you might have to take this and swallow this pill.
But why does it have to get that bad? That's what I'm asking. Why is everyone so money hungry?
Well, also think about this. If you're going to expand the game, these are the places that are going to advertise. If you get like the Doritos advertising the NHL in all these different areas, then they're going to need, like, it goes back. This is kind of like what you do to help the game grow, in a sense. I understand it's annoying because it is too much, but at the same time, without it, nobody's going to watch it, because you're not going to get the average Joe watching your product because, hey, the NHL's on this bag of chips or whatever. Yeah, cool. Maybe I'll watch it now. I mean, who knows? I mean,
no, fair enough.
But
also thrown out there, Columbus re-signed Cam Atkinson, 7-year, $40.25 million. So that's good for him.
Yeah.
That'll help that team. Longevity's young players.
And it's kind of cool to see guys sign long-term with these teams, because it's not really something you're used to. Not a lot of people would extend for 7 years in Columbus. They would look for the next time to get out of there.
Not even Rick Nash did that.
Huh. So,
what a fool.
Really? I think he did okay.
Does he win a cup yet?
No. But has Columbus?
He's still a fool. Still a fool.
I mean,
did he go anywhere else between Columbus and New York?
I think he just went to New York.
Okay. So the reason I was bringing up earlier about Halifax and all that for hockey is because apparently now the rumors are Halifax is going to possibly be a site for CFL expansion.
See, that I agree with.
That's something I've been saying for years. Why not?
I think there's smaller markets in Canada that should have a football team.
Yukon.
Well, I look at this. Why doesn't Saskatoon have a team?
Don't they?
No, it's just Regina, I believe.
Oh. Okay.
But I mean,
I don't know if Saskatchewan will be able to support 2 teams.
see, and that's the thing. If the Greater Toronto area can support 2 teams, I believe that 2 teams can easily run successfully in Saskatchewan.
I don't know if you can necessarily count Hamilton as the Greater Toronto area. It's a couple hours.
No, but for hockey,
For hockey.
like they say, Toronto can hold 2 NHL teams. Why can't Saskatchewan, with the best fan base in football,
That's true.
in Canadian football, the best fan base, why they can support 2 teams? I believe they can.
It's possible, yeah. I know that out east, I'm thinking like Halifax or St. John or St. John's, Newfoundland. I think one or more
What
of
about
those places.
dildo?
Dildo, Newfoundland. Yes. The dildo fighting Irish.
Do they have to be Irish?
The dildo fighting Newfies.
The dildo fighting Siemens?
Yeah. The dildo first cadets.
Who are we? We're the fighting seamen.
From dildo.
Yay!
Sploosh, sploosh.
Yeah.
That's the name of their mascot, Sploosh, sploosh.
Cheers, Taylor.
Yeah, there you go. But anyways, yeah. So that's the thing. Also, Calgary vs. Toronto in the Grey Cup. So, who are we predicting for this?
Oh, this happens on a Sunday, right?
Usually.
Okay, yeah, I'm watching NFL, pro football.
I don't really care if you watch it. Who do you think's going to win?
No one.
Okay.
No
Calgary
one
it
wins
is.
because it's Canadian football.
Calgary it is.
Well, if it's not Edmonton, it's ABC. So I have to root for Toronto. Ricky Ray, I guess.
Fair enough.
I'll go for Ricky Ray.
Fair enough. Moving on.
Yeah.
I do have a Meniac and D award winner
Oh?
this week. It's actually someone you know. Well, I don't know if you know personally. He did grow up in your hometown. His name was Colton Parayko.
Oh, and why?
Which I found out when the Blues were here. Apparently, he takes his sponsorship with Warrior, and he donates almost everything that he would normally take, like sticks, and he gets gloves and whatever else. He donates it to the kids of St. Albert and Edmonton area.
Oh, yeah. No, that
I just found out, and I think that's really cool.
that happens actually very frequently in the NHL, actually.
But it's not only the fact that, you know...
PK Subban, I believe, has done that too in Montreal.
That doesn't surprise me. But I'm more saying how I would expect him to do that, say, in St. Louis. But the fact he does it in his hometown instead of St. Louis, that's cool.
Yeah. No,
It shows that he doesn't forget where he's from. I like that.
no, and that's...
And a lot of it, too, is he doesn't just give it to kids. He gives it to kids who can't afford it and are struggling. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, that is definitely... I believe... I'm trying to remember... there was an organization made by NHL players to help people who can't afford to play hockey, to get them into...
Is it the Canadian Tire one that's kids sport or whatever it is?
Might be.
Yeah.
I'd have to do more research on it. I don't know it off the tip of my tongue. But, no, and that's something I think I love about just hockey players in general. And I don't think you see this as much in other sports. I don't think you see this in the NFL with football as much. I don't think...
Or baseball or soccer or...
You might see it in baseball, but you don't hear about it.
No.
I think with hockey, you hear about it more. Maybe it's just because we live in Canada and we hear it.
That's possible.
But the whole knowing where you come up, knowing your roots, it's a big deal in hockey. And it's something you don't forget because the first 2 people everyone always thanks when they win the Stanley Cup are their parents.
Yep.
And they always say, thank you for driving me to the 6 a.m. morning practice and stuff like that. So they always remember that. Thank you to the couple that took care of me when I was playing in juniors.
Yeah.
Little things like that. So there's always an appreciation for people getting you to where you are. And I always hear so much more about that in hockey than I do in any other sport.
The other thing that I like about hockey is it was never, well, I did this, I did that to get us here. It was always, we did this, we did that, the team did this. It's never one man. No matter if the guy goes on a tear and scores like 50 goals in 39 games or whatever the case is, it's always, we did this, we did that. That's what I like about it.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, you do hear that a lot in football too, I'm not actually going to lie.
No, I wouldn't know.
I do. because I was listening to an interview on the radio a few weeks ago, and it was actually in regards to the Saints and Bills game, and Cameron Jordan was being interviewed about, how he must feel very happy that the defense, had one of their best games, and he said no. He's like, we let them kick a field goal and we let them do touchdown. We still have growth to do. We're not perfect yet. That's what we want. That's what we're going to have to practice more to get to. And it was just that sense of...
There's room to grow.
Yeah, there's either we win as a team, we fail as a team, we succeed as a team, we disappoint as a team. That mentality is huge in football because you can definitely see it being very isolated, and there's a lot of characters in football, especially in the NFL. But at the same time, a wide receiver knows he can't throw the ball to himself.
That's true.
They all know, who's kicking the field goal and who's not.
Yep.
At the last second. So they all know that, the running back ain't making any sacks or anything like that. So for that reason, I do think football's all like it. I just don't think there's a lot more of given to the community as much as we hear about hockey.
Yeah, I know. That's fair enough. By the way, congratulations on your Saints being 8-2.
Who dat?
And
come from behind, but
yeah. And congratulations to the Packers for losing 23-0 to the Ravens. That's cool.
Quote the Raven, never score.
Pretty much, yeah. I don't know if the Ravens are good or not, but that sucks. But hey, whatever.
Can't trust a football team that wears purple.
Sure. I mean, yeah, I can't disagree with you. Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah. So this is a Let's Book that is the last thing I have here. Something I've been wanting to do for a couple weeks, and we keep putting it off. I think the 50th episode, it's the perfect time to do it. Let's book a UK invasion of NXT.
Okay.
You first.
Well, I'd start out with the top, with Pete Dunne. 100%, I would have him make the mark.
I like it.
Solidify himself as not only the UK champion, but why he's choosing to go NXT. And you don't know necessarily how he got in, but he's there. You figured, okay, well, he's the UK champion. He can, get to where he wants to. He's been on Monday Night Raw, so why can't he go to NXT? And he's been on NXT before. But then all of a sudden, maybe the next show later, you see Tyler Bate. Maybe you see maybe the Mustache Mountains. You see, the Wolf Gang, whatnot. But all of a sudden, you see them a little bit more.
Yep.
And then eventually, you see them all come together and take down some of the top groups in NXT. And you're like, okay, what's going on? And then you have them kicked out of the building because they're just wreaking havoc of the show, only for them to get back in. And you don't understand how can they get back in the building, only to be revealed that it's Commissioner William Regal, who's also a British-born wrestler, allowing them in the building so the UK can get the attention that it rightfully bloody well deserves.
Now, would you have people like, say, Nikki Cross and other people from the UK join them? Like, the guy who's tag team with Oney Lorcan, what's his name? Danny Bush?
Danny Birch.
Birch, that's it.
I wouldn't even go inside NXT. I would also bring back some main roster guys to legitimize it. Like, maybe you bring back a Wade Barrett.
Interesting.
Maybe you bring in Neville. Perhaps you, maybe just bring some more of those that European.
What about a Finn Balor?
You could. I mean, one of his, even Becky Lynch, Paige.
Yeah. Now, see, my thought would be for the way I do it, was do it not only in NXT.
I believe Peyton Royce is actually.
I think they're both from Australia or New Zealand, but you can have them join. Why not? But my thing was to start NXT, again, with Pete Dunne, I think the other guys from the UK tournament who they regularly show.
Yep.
And then start expanding and recruiting and getting the people in NXT who are from the UK. But then also start on the main roster. But have, like, Finn Balor and Becky Lynch and kind of do it simultaneously and almost swap back and forth. Like sometimes you just see half of Mustache Mountain or the guys from Mustache Mountain go to Raw or SmackDown.
But at the same time, if we're talking NXT TakeOver, why are we talking main roster?
I'm just briefly talking about the main roster because that way you have the main roster guys who are from the UK come down to NXT.
Well, that's why I would bring main roster guys back to NXT instead of vice versa.
Gotcha, okay.
Because if we're taking over NXT, there's no reason why they should be on the main roster.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm just thinking taking over all WWE, but focus more on NXT.
Well, because like my end game for this would then not only bring William Regal out of commissioner of NXT, maybe bringing back Shawn Michaels as a commissioner.
Yeah, that'd be good.
But then I would also help this catapult a new UK show with William Regal as the commissioner to that brand.
Interesting. Kind of almost like Monday, Tuesday, Raw, SmackDown. That'd be the NXT to the UK, whatever you want to call it.
And then too, you can also bring back the Jack Gallagher's.
Yep, bring him. Yep.
Or the Family Nightshirts, who doesn't get that much viewership on NXT, but definitely had a couple good showings. But at the same time, I would also not restrict this from just being UK. I would love to see this actually be not only a takeover NXT, but it takes over some of the non-UK NXT workers. So maybe you see like a CN Almas join, like we're seeing like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
What about like expanding? You're saying to like the British Commonwealth?
Well, I'm just saying.
So workers from Canada and other places that are.
Well, and that's just the thing. It's like we're watching on SmackDown where Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens show that, they're not bleeding blue here.
Yeah.
They're doing things for themselves because they feel like they've been handed a fair card on SmackDown. Maybe you have that same mindset from some of the workers in NXT. And like, oh look, I can get a better foot in the door if I go over here.
Well, fair enough.
But at the end of the day, I mean, you can't wreck NXT because there's so much going for them right now.
No, it's very true.
But you definitely use that, and then maybe you change an NXT takeover to a UK takeover.
Kind of like the NXT Takeover London that they did. Like was it
UK takeover and then NXT or something.
Yeah.
And then it's United Kingdom takeover.
Yeah. Oh, I like it. Well, that's good.
So,
right on. The other one I want to do for Let's Book an NHL, or let's book an expansion team for every an expansion franchise in each sport. So the big four, pick a city you put a new team in.
Well, here's an idea. 2 weeks, 1 year, anniversary.
So save that for 2 weeks?
Save that for 2 weeks.
Okay. Hopefully we can get the headline to headline the headline event of the 1 year mark.
That's just something I'm thinking of. And maybe we can do it right before December 3, I believe. Blitzkrieg 3.
Blitzkrieg 3, that'd be good. Yeah.
So I'm just. I mean, because what is today? The 20th?
Yes.
Well, it's around that time. So. But yeah, so that almost does it for episode 50 because we do have to tell you guys that if you are looking for Tag Struggle merchandise, you can come to any of the Monster Pro Wrestling, Canadian Wrestling Coalition, or Pure Power Wrestling shows and buy the very new Tag Struggle 3 t-shirts. 3! Or you can go to whatamaneuver.net and buy all your vintage One World Empire gear, whether it's hoodies, t-shirts, baby onesies,
or you can get the OG Struggle versus Everyone.
And they're all unisex.
That's the best kind of sex.
Yeah, you and I.
Exactly.
And then, just if, your earbuds decide to resurrect themselves after being murdered on episode 50.
Cops!
Then maybe you should go and check out Podbean, Google Play, iTunes.
Fuck YouTube.
Yeah, on the Edmonton Sport Podcast Network page and go check out episodes 1 to 49.
And then listen to 50 again, so you murder your ears
Yeah.
again. Why not?
Of the Sounds of Struggle. And check it out.
Yeah, we have a secret deal with hearing aid companies, so I mean, whatever.
Yeah. We can't hear them, though.
What?
Huh?
Anyways.
Very loud noises.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Where can people find you, Meniac?
Mostly on the internet. I'm pretty much a ghost otherwise.
Okay, you're in that bondage section. Gotcha.
Yeah, I am.
All right.
Basically anything on social media at WrestleManiac. My next appearance is going to be at probably Blitzkrieg 3 or Tag Struggle 3. We'll win a bunch of threes.
Yeah.
Win 300 titles.
Right.
That's for me. By the way, how was your show this past weekend?
Well, I defeated the Irishman.
Hooray!
Yay! And then he spazzed out and beat me up after the match. And
Dick.
took away my opportunity to become the first ever two-time Leo Burke Cup champion.
With two different promotions.
Exactly.
Who ended up winning that?
Sidney Steele.
Oh, damn it, Irishman. What the fuck?
I mean, it was our former OWE buddy.
I guess, but what the fuck?
I mean, he defeated Tyler James. It was supposed to be a triple threat, but I was not allowed to compete.
Wait, he beat Tyler James?
Yep.
And I'm okay with it. Good for you, Sidney Steele.
Yeah.
Good for you, Brucey.
It was supposed to be Sidney Steele versus Tyler James versus myself.
Oh, you would have won that for sure.
All right. So.
Oh, next time.
The Irishman,
He's a douche.
he had an Irish spaz.
Too much fucking Guinness, I guess.
Right.
Dickhead.
Maybe have a little bit of banquet. Settle yourself down.
Right.
So,
where are you coming up? What are you doing?
Next week I'll be in CWC, unfairly put in to a title match against Drew Dawkins in a lumberjack match.
If you got hurt this past weekend, are you going to be able to defend RA or what?
I mean, that's just the thing. I mean, that's why I say unfairly put into a match.
This seems...
I can't talk much about it. There's some...
I was just saying, it seems wrong, but okay.
Yep, I'm just saying. So, and then if everything's okay, moving on, you can watch me defend the provincial title, Blitzkrieg 3, in a three-way.
So many threes.
Right. But it's speaking of three, I mean, those Kobe Slatters in that bar over there are $3, I believe. I think we should go get some.
Sounds pretty free to me.
Yeah, and get 3 pints.
Sounds good to me.
So, this is gonna do it for episode 50.
It doesn't have any threes in it.
Oh. Oh. Yeah.
Well, unless you spell it FIV3. 530.
FIV3Z3RO.
So many threes.
50.
Yeah, I like it.
So, yeah, that does it for episode 50! We are the Sounds Struggle hosts.
He is Chris
That was a good save.
Yeah, good save. He is Chris Perish. I am Meniac.
We're 2/3 of Tag Struggle 3.
Yep. Big Show Nasty being the third.
Yep, and I believe we're real.
I also believe we are spectacular.
And I believe...
You can fly?
You just know me.
Yeah.
And with that, I think that's too much information for you guys. So, later, bitches!
3.
When your heart's pounding out of your chest, you can feel the thing shaking as you're running out of breath.